Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be talking about Khaleke Hudson and how he has been absolutely balling out during OTAs and mini camp. If you guys are new, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Also check out Manta Sleep, use code HTTC, link in the description. So the Washington Commanders have finished up their off-season workouts, their OTAs, their mini camp, and it was decided by Ron Rivera, Eric Bieniemy, and Del Rio that they're going to cancel tomorrow's practice, that last OTA session, and they will just be doing, quick workouts and stuff like that. But one of the guys that has stood out so far during off-season workouts is fourth-year linebacker Khaleke Hudson. He's been really impressing the media, fans that have been there, and coaches and players as well. So we're going to talk about that in today's video, show you guys a clip of, an interception he had, and talk about the possibilities of Khaleke Hudson in this defense. And, the Commanders, their linebacking, that linebacker core is not the strong suit of that defense. But if Khaleke Hudson can play well and emerge as a solid linebacker, then that would be absolutely huge for this defense. We're going to talk about that in today's video. But let's get real quick, a little bit of a background on Hudson. So, was drafted in the 5th round out of Michigan as a, hybrid player, linebacker slash safety. I guess it says right here, 162 overall in the 5th round of the 2020 NFL draft. His rookie year, I thought he actually had a pretty, solid season. Had 10 tackles and 7 solo tackles, but he had a couple really good games. Like, he didn't get much playing time, but when he did, I thought, he was pretty good. And then the next year didn't do much, and this past season didn't do much at all besides the last game of the season against the Cowboys. He looked really good, and I think that kind of helped boost his confidence, but also helped, boost the trust that, the coaches, the defensive coaches and Ron Rivera have in him and give him more of a chance. And maybe that's why they didn't sign a single linebacker. Still don't necessarily agree with that, but maybe they have a lot of trust in Khaleke Hudson and think he can be a solid linebacker. And hey, I hope he can. I mean, this is going to be his 4th year. Also, he's going to have a little bit more motivation because this is a contract year. And if he doesn't do much, he's not going to get, a big deal. If he has another similar season to this right here, it might be like, okay, he might get a camp invite or like a low tier signing with the chance to make a roster. So this year, this is make or break for him. He needs to have a good year. Like Chase Young, obviously, it'd be great if he has a big year, but if he doesn't, if he has a mid-year 5-6 sacks, then some team's gonna sign, him to a contract, and even after that, he's gonna get some opportunities. Khaleke Hudson is not, so he's going to be extra motivated to contribute this year. He's always been playing well in special teams, but this is the year where, he might actually get some more defensive snaps because I'm sorry, there's no reason David Mayo should be above him on the depth chart, and he was all of last year, all of the year before, and the year before, every year that, these two have been here, that Ron Rivera's been here. Dave Mayo's been above him on the depth chart. It shouldn't happen. Khaleke Hudson, more athletic. And at this point, his 4th year in this defense, I think he should know the defense inside and out pretty much as David Mayo. So that shouldn't be an issue. And there's no excuses for Hudson. And hopefully, if he's playing well, the coaching staff puts him ahead of Mayo and trusts him, especially after seeing what he did in that Cowboys game. So let's talk about what some people are saying about him. Logan Paulson, who's been at a lot of the practices, says on the defense and OTAs, the guy that stood out to me the most was Khaleke Hudson. He looks great. So that's some high praise from Logan Paulson, saying that the guy that looks the best on the defense, or the guy that stood out to me or him the most, is Khaleke Hudson. So that's some high praise right there. Like, we've heard a lot of great things about Manuel Forbes, a little bit from Quan Martin and, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, but he said the guy that stood out the most is Khaleke Hudson. So definitely some high praise. And then this is from Kime, who has been to a lot of the practices as well. He says the other guy that kind of jumped out to me a little bit because he's getting opportunities is Khaleke Hudson. They like what they've seen from him. Cody Barton has been working a lot with the 2s or with the 2nds. So real quick, word from our sponsor, Manta Sleep.
And huge shout out to Mantis Sleep for sponsoring this video. They make the best sleep masks in the world. They have a bunch of different types that can change temperatures, that can change the sound that you're listening to when you're going to bed and when you're waking up. I've been using it for the last month or so, and it's done wonders for my sleep. My sleep has improved drastically. I've been getting good quality sleep whenever I'm having a tough time sleeping. I just put the mask on and go to bed, and it's great. So check them out. Use code HTTC for 10% off.
All right, so we're back. So yeah, another guy who respect his opinion a lot is John Keim, and he said that Khaleke Hudson has stood out to him, made some good plays. I remember one, he sniffed out a screen that would have been like either no gain or loss for Brian Robinson, but he didn't hit him because it's not really, they're doing no contact, limited contact. So he's been impressing, and yeah, we just need to see him on the field a little bit more. I think the preseason will be absolutely huge for him because like in the past, he hasn't really stood out in the preseason, and to like catch the attention of the coaches and to put him over a veteran like David Mayo, you got to do a little bit in the preseason and not only in training camp. So, Hudson's got to step up a little bit in, training camp, but also the preseason and once the games start as well. Got to get him on the field. Just got to get him on the field for sure. Anyone over David Mayo, man. Anyone over David Mayo. And with all the guys they have in the secondary, they're not going to have a lot of 3 linebacker sets at all. And honestly, they might do a lot of 1 linebacker sets. So just, something to consider there. Let's see. And here is the play. I made a video kind of with highlights from all of minicamp if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. But here is just a clip from practice. Nothing major, but Hudson is able to get a deflection, I think, off Dax Milne's hands or someone, and able to get the interception and run it back and celebrate a little bit with the teammates. So yeah, I couldn't really see the beginning of that play there. I think Wild Goose or someone tipped it, and then Khaleke Hudson's there to make the play. So just being at the right place at the right time, but nonetheless a good play for Khaleke. And then this is another guy, Dre. He says local media has constantly brought up Khaleke Hudson and Logan Thomas as guys that are flying under the radar this offseason, and Khaleke has been really impressing the coaches. So again, he just got to do enough to be that number 3 linebacker. And hey, maybe he'll even be number 2 because, haven't heard amazing things about Cody Barton. Haven't heard a lot of bad things, but you got to think he's learning a new defense. So these guys that are, behind him on the depth chart should be you should be way ahead of him in terms of learning the defense. So that's why he might be working on the 2s. But again, I say this all the time. It'll be interesting to see them in 6 weeks, like how Cody Barton looks after, he got the OTAs in minicamp. He maybe wasn't doing the best, but he gets to see, gets to learn the defense a little bit more, see what he was doing wrong, and then come back and really show what he's about. And I think that could be something that he does. So I'm assuming Jamin Davis is going to be the number 1, the one of the outside linebackers, and then, Cody Barton will be the middle linebacker, and then hopefully Khaleke Hudson is that 3rd guy. And, not going to get a ton of playing time, but maybe we'll get, 5 to 10 plays on defense per game, and that's much better than he was getting before. And then, if, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if Cody Barton or Jamin Davis gets hurt, then he can come in there and start and play, 50, 60, 70% of the snaps if needed. So, if in the regular season, or if those guys are healthy and they need a quick breather, put in Khaleke Hudson. We don't necessarily need to see David Mayo go out there. He's good on special teams, but besides that, I don't know, man. He seems like a good guy and everything, but he shouldn't be in the position where he has to be covering these good running backs, tight ends. Put the more athletic guy like Khaleke Hudson on him, and I think it'll work out better. And not even more athletic, but also a younger guy who's more explosive as well in Khaleke Hudson, only 25 years old, 6 foot, 220 pounds. So I don't have super high expectations for Hudson, but I think that so far from what we're hearing, it's good news for the Commanders' linebacking core because I haven't had an issue with them having Jamin Davis and Cody Barton as the starters. Would I like better starter than Cody Barton? Yeah, but we'll see what he does this year. But my issue has been more so the depth. But if Khaleke Hudson can step up and be a solid number 3 linebacker, then that definitely kind of alleviates some of my concerns for sure. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Peace, guys.